It's been a long time coming, but I got the message now. And that message that message is 99.99. So the fire druid build is completely done. Another ultimate guide has been a little better and perfected. So this build is pretty much a PvP ready build. I have breakpoints that are all great for PvP, but for PvM it's just so much sweeter as well. So, faster cast rate and faster hit recovery, both at 99. Those are the breakpoints we are aiming for, and that is pretty much how I center my gear. So, we can start off with faster cast rate. So currently I have 100% faster cast rate exactly. So 20, 20, 10, 33, and 17. So I could get one less faster cast rate on my spirit or one less faster cast rate on my amulet. And that's pretty much it for those breakpoints. So now we can talk a little about faster hit recovery. 55, 20, 12, and 12. Beautiful. That is why we also go with sandstorm tricks. We have more on that later on. Faster hit recovery gotten this easily just by using 2 grand charms and 2 items. Very nice. So yeah, I talked a bit about PvP in that little introduction there. In the description below I have a little more detailed guide that is also PvP oriented, and it's pretty much the same setup that you're going to be using for PvM or PvP this build here. There's no real difference between them. In my stash I keep Hoto, and I keep Phoenix, then I keep another Stone of Jordan, and I keep a Morris Amulet. All these items here are for different setups. So one of the setups that I like, just to get a little less faster cast rate, still keep the faster hit recovery, is going down to 68% faster cast rate, or even 46. This means that I will be teleporting slower, but I will be doing more damage, but having less survival. So it's kind of up to yourself what you like. Do you like more damage? Do you like being risky and all that kind of stuff? So I think I need to talk a bit about how the build works now before we kind of get over the introduction. So I talked a lot about faster cast rate now, but faster cast rate is only gonna help on the teleport speed. So as you can see, with 99% faster hit recovery, I can easily teleport around mobs. They are never really gonna hit me, regardless. So that's great. But faster hit recovery is not gonna make you do more damage with Fissure, which is your main damage spell. It's also not gonna do more damage with Volcano, and obviously all the other spells that you use. So the build works basically like Blizzard's or Frozen Orb Sorceress, where you push the ability and then it goes on cooldown, and then you should switch to another ability because Fissure is already on the ground active. So now I cast Fissure, and then I want to quickly cast Volcano, and that's pretty much it for the rotation. So faster cast rate, again I talked about going down to even 44% faster cast rate. So that would be using, I think, only Mage Feast and a Rock Belt, and maybe a ring here. That is totally fine. It's just gonna mean perhaps more, less resistance, but it's also gonna mean more damage. So yeah, if you can deal with less teleport speed, which is fine enough for PvM, then go for that. That also means that you don't really need the most expensive items like a decent or faster cast rate amulet. Mine's totally crap, but I had it for free. So, but yeah, good amulets and one that can cost a lot. But yeah, I think with that little introduction over, we can time for some stats and build. Enough strength just to wear in Monarch. The more strength that you can get on your sandstorm tricks, your amulet, maybe your ring, the less points you have to put into strength. Obviously we use an Enigma Mage Blade, which is a big help, so go for Mage Blade. Dexterity, you don't want to focus on dexterity at all, because Monarch is just horrific to get max block on. Vitality, you pretty much just want to dump the rest into Vitality. This is not a really mana expensive build, so I would never really bother with putting raw points into energy. It's just not really gonna matter a lot. So yeah. Defense, try to get at least 1.8k defense or something like that. You can get an Eve Sandstorm Tricks, upgraded like mine, Mage Feast gloves, stuff like that is gonna help a lot. Life, you are gonna be using call to arms, so life is not really gonna be that of a problem as long as you have at least 1,000 life at like level 85 or whatever. It's gonna be just fine. Resistance, it's all about small jumps in your inventory giving you life and resist. Currently, I would like to have gotten a little more fire resistant small jumps over lightning resistance for the guide, but I wasn't really able to get anyone, so now I'm just, going with that for now until I can get more fire resistant small jumps. Poison resist is obviously covered by sandstorm tricks, and then I also have a nice little ring here that's gonna give me even more poison resist and lightning resist. So yeah, a ring like this one is pretty sweet. But again, getting good, torch and Nelios, all those little things gonna make you able to maybe not cap resistance, but at least get closer to it. So do keep that in mind if you want to have that ultimate PvM fire druid build. So let's go over the build. Nothing in shape. You could never really utilize any of the spells, so don't really consider it. Well, maybe you could use werewolf to look cool in town, maybe even run a little faster, I don't know. But yeah. Summoning. So this was actually suggested to me, and it actually makes perfect sense. You wanna put just 1 point in Oak Sage, don't bother maxing it, and then put 1 point in the Pre-Crest, and then actually max Grizzly. Yeah, max Grizzly, what's going on? But having Grizzly means that you can kill fire immunes a lot better. Um, Fire immunes, maybe that doesn't sound like a big problem, but it is. Honestly, this build, it can't do Chaos runs pretty much. Chaos runs are just one of the worst things this build can do. But with Grizzly and your own Merc, it's actually doable. Not great, but it's gonna get a lot better. So that's why we actually max Grizzly. Also just because, well, there's no reason to max Oak Sage, and we don't have much else to put remaining points into. Now for the elemental tree. I choose to get Armageddon. This is a personal preference. Again, what else was I gonna spend my points on? There wasn't really much I wanted to do. If I didn't put points into Armageddon, I could max Molten Boulder, which means I would get more damage on Volcano. So keep that in mind. But I like Armageddon. It's a fun little utility spell, and honestly, a little more damage from Molten Boulder, that's not really that great, I suppose. But again, it would help again on fire immunes, like Molten Boulder, 12% damage per level. Notice damage and not fire damage. So yeah, it's up to yourself really how you want to do this, cause personally I think Armageddon is pretty fun, especially when you have such a high faster cast rate on teleport. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for these skills. Again, there's not much more options to do than the ones that I just mentioned. So yeah, it's pretty simple. We can also quickly cover the Merc and Dariel's Visage, targeted with an increased and enhanced damage duel, Fortitude, and Infinity. You pretty much just want to get the best rolls that you can, but do value looking up breakpoints for your Merc, whatever base you might use. Like this little duel that I have in my Endurance Visage, this is gonna give me the next breakpoint for a Colossus Volu, which means I'm gonna be hitting faster on the Merc, which is, I would actually say, very important because you really rely on your Merc to kill stuff, especially fire moons. So do value getting good rolls on your Merc for Fire Druid. Like some builds don't really need that good Merc, but this one kinda does. So yeah, I think that's it for this part. Okay, time for the fun part, the gear. Aim to get your Mage Feast upgraded. It's just a minor thing, but it's always fun. A single Stone of Jordan. Or 2, if you aim for less faster cast rate, a rocks build. If you aim for 99 faster cast rate, you're gonna need a ring. Try to get in stats like these, good resist life. That is a great roll. If you wanted a really perfect ring, it would not have dexterity on it and no mana, so keep that in mind. Try to get these kinda like myself, decent stats, a bit high on the poison resist perhaps, and ethereal if you can. Let's take the shield. So a spirit, it doesn't have to be a 35% faster cast rate spirit. Any spirit will do as long as you hit that 99 together with the amulet. An Enigma Mage Blade, just try to get this one with 15% enhanced defense if you can, and that's pretty much it. Ravenlaw's Helm. So, let's talk about a little more 2 interesting items here. Ravenlaw. Why Ravenlaw and not some really great, I don't know, 2-socketed crazy helm? This gives an amazing amount of damage. It obviously also gives other stats, but it's mostly just for the damage part. Minus 23 enemy resistance. I think the max roll will be 25%. So this one's not quite perfect, but it's still sort of high. This Ravenlaw, this sword here, and this Phoenix. These 3 items together gives a lot of minus enemy fire resistance. They also give plus fire damage, which is great enough, but it's mostly just about the enemy fire resistance. And that's why we go with Ravenlaw. There's really no other choice. Obviously, if you really wanted to blow the budget and you didn't really care for the stats that Ravenlaw offers you, you could go with a +2, +30, +20 faster hit recovery helm, something insane that costs way much, but that's up to yourself. I like Ravenlaw, and that's why we go with Ravenlaw. Now the sword, you might be thinking, what the hell? But yeah, it's just, it works. It's great damage, and that's it. It's all about the damage for this roll here. Just get a cheap 6-socket crystal sword, and then try to get all the 5 jewels that you can. And that's pretty much it. It's a great little thing, and it works, so go for this if you want that max damage PvM build. Obviously, if you wanna just cruise along with less damage, maybe some other gear setup, a Herd of Oak is just fine. Phoenix is also great for less faster cast rate build, so you get even more damage, and Redemption Aura, and other great things like that. Mars Amulet, Stone of Jordan again if you wanted less faster cast rate. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the gear, so we go quickly over the inventory now. 12% faster hit recovery. So if you never change out these 3 items here, the Sandstorm Tricks and these 2 skillers, you're at least always gonna keep some faster hit recovery in whatever gear setup you're gonna be using. We could quickly look at this just real fast. Now let's see, faster hit recovery. Druid one hand swing and wavement, so like 20 plus 12, so you could probably always keep at least 42% faster hit recovery, which is a great aim for different gear setup. Obviously it's not gonna be 99 or 63, but you can at least keep some faster hit recovery in whatever gear setup you're gonna be using with Sandstorm Tricks and 2 charms here. And then just some skillers. Doesn't have to be that high, it doesn't really matter much. Again, you're gonna be using call to arms, so yeah, it's gonna be fine even with low life skillers. And again, it's all about getting good rolls on your life and resist small jumps here. Those are just annoying to trade for, but it helps a lot. As you can see, if it wasn't for these fire resistant small jumps, I would pretty much be garbage against 5 immunes that would just kill me fast. And then try to get a decent torch and a decent Anelios, and you're pretty much set. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the entire build, gear and everything. So let's do some gameplay next. For the purpose of this video, the gameplay part, I am now going to be using my 99 setup. We talked about other gear setup that's basically gonna give you more damage, but it's gonna give you less resistance and maybe less survival overall. But I like this 99 setup, and again, this is, if you were gonna do serious PvP, like dead on best PvP gear, in the world, whatever, this would be the setup. There's no other real setup to recommend for PvP than these exact items that I'm using currently. It's just that PvP centered, this gear. I've never actually made a PvP guide before, but consider this the first one actually, because this is PvP gear right here, PvP. So yeah, let's go with this PvP build and do some PvM. So it's always clunky starting the game with a druid that uses summon, so you wanna use your call times that first time, and you go back, or actually +2 +1, yeah. So actually you wanna stay in call times, then do your pre-buffs and your summons, and then you do call times again, and there you go, then you're ready. So before we start teleporting away, I always just like to cast Armageddon. So now that is going on for 50 seconds, which is decent enough amount of time. The only problem is after casting Armageddon, you can't really do anything for like 10 seconds afterwards, so you have to wait a little. It's just a very annoying thing. But yeah, let's get going on this shit. So again, we have maxed Grizzly Bear and have a decent Merc, so you can actually kill stuff that is fire immune. And again, look at my life, 4,000 health. That is, a lot. And this is, enough to really survive pretty much anything. But yeah, as I talked a bit about before, as soon as you cast Fissure, you pretty much just want to go over to Volcano. Like right now, this will also help on the fire immunes that are on the map itself. And as you see, my spirit already died, and now I'm down at 2.5k health. That spirit there, I'm never gonna be friends with that stupid spirit. Oh, I hate the spirit. But yeah, you do wanna try to keep it up and like notice when it dies and whatnot. But yeah, this is the worst place for the fire druid to be in. Killing fire immunes on a fire druid, I mean, obviously it's never gonna be good, but like look at this spear here. Do you notice that it's like 4-shotting mobs? That doesn't sound like a lot, but it really is a big help when you're doing something like this. That really shouldn't be the main aim for this build, because honestly, that I'm even able to do this is only because I have such overpowered items. For untwinked fire druids on whatever, you're never gonna be able to do Chaos runs, at least not easily. Because again, I'm getting carried by my Merc, getting carried by that high Grizzly, and so forth. Another little tip is that if you're actually facing many fire moves, you might just only want to cast Volcano. Pretty much just spam Volcano, Volcano, Volcano. Like that is totally legit. But do you notice that even though I'm now pulling rather big packs, my Bear stays up, my Merc stays up. That is a very nice thing to see, because they are pretty much the meat shield. Because as you can see, I already used up all my life potions now. It's not like I can die if I don't spam a few potions now and then, so yeah. But like, I'm pretty much just casting spells and then running around dodging projectiles, mobs and all that stuff. And wow, the density. And now my call to arms is over, so I want to recast that.
I can't carry anymore.
But yeah, I think I will cut it here, because now you kinda, you saw the the worst possible gameplay for the Fire Druid to do. Like, this is generally hard, even if it's just a one-player game on Hell. Okay, time for the last little pack. Obviously the hardest one for this specific build, and Diablo Bale test, kill speed test on Bale. Diablo, whatever he's named. Okay, so like the idea is that you pretty much just wanna try to only spam, Volcano, and then just hope your Merc doesn't die or your bear, whatever. And like it really matters now that you keep your call times up on your summons and whatnot. But yeah, like this went pretty smooth only, and I say really only because I'm using a good Merc and a fully skilled Grizzly.
I am overburdened.
Christ almighty, why do I keep forgetting seals when I'm taping? Oh well, then you can see this pack as well. I mean, that is the perfect example of just how fast you kill non-fire immunes. And like, this is not even my max damage setup, so like one fissure would have killed this entire pack. So I actually used Volcano at the start, so that it was a little slow, but as soon as I popped Fissure, like Fissure is just so much damage, but fire immunes, they don't care about your Fissure, so that's the problem. But yeah, let's go for this spade here. Or jump even. Oh, should probably also try to keep up Armageddon for once. But as you can see, if you play a little bit focused, killing stuff like this on one player hill is not any problem at all. It's gonna be like 10 seconds, which is, not in any way fast, but it's definitely not all the slowest parts, the slowest speed as well. But yeah, I think that's pretty much rounds up the guide again. Avoid fire immunes if you can, but you can pretty much do everything else. So yeah, it's just too bad that you can't break fire immunes. But yeah, it's not like we're a lightning sorceress that has it way too easy and all that stuff. Cause like, if we could break fire immunes, this build could, handle chaos runs very good as well. But yeah, those freaking lightning sorcerers too overpowered. So yeah, hope you had a fun little time watching this updated revisit Fire Druid guide. The old guide was way back in like 2014, I think. So I think it was time to make a new Fire Druid guide. And if I wanted to really perfect the gear, just a few things. I would get a better, faster cast rate ring. I would get better inventory, and I would get a way better amulet. Because again, I do want to, I didn't talk too much about this, but again, faster cast rate amulet, they suck ass to trade for. They are very hard to get, but I was lucky enough to just get this one for free, cause well, look at the stats, it's not really anything special. So if you can just manage to get an amulet like this one, it's gonna be totally perfect fine. Cause again, the guide in the description below, he uses pretty much the exact same items as me, crappy amulet as well, but he does just fine in both PvP and PvM. So yeah, I think that rounds it up. So yeah, have a good one and see you in the next video.